I remember we defined this class called pet that had a name and a type, and then I wrote a subclass called dog, which extends pet, and that was used to illustrate kind of having multiple constructors and adding an additional variable here. But when I wrote the toString, see, I called the super toString, and that worked because toString in the superclass was a public method. So I actually had access to it. The super meant I was not calling this toString, I was calling the superclass toString. What if somehow I wanted to use the variables which exist here, which would be, let me just remind myself of what it was. It was the name and the type. Okay? Return name plus type plus breed. Let's just try to do that because it's not going to work. So this is what's interesting. Remember that NetBeans kind of colors things, so the keywords are colored in blue. Instance variables and class variables are colored in green. So here, name and type are colored in green, because they're instance variables and they exist, but then I'm getting red squigglies. Why? Because it says name has private access in pet. And type has private access in pet. And what do they suggest? They say make name have package or make type package private. So their suggestion is to go to the superclass and make those give those broader access, and that is terrible advice because you generally shouldn't be. Yeah, protected would work. So let's just to kind of show that. And again, if I change this to protected, then the red squiggly goes away. Oh yeah, no, I can use the getter. Yeah. So let's change that back to private. Where's pet? There we go. And then see, I can undo all my changes, although I'll lose them by saying revert modifications and then go back. All right. So I can say get name because that's a. Oops. That should, doesn't pet have get name? It doesn't have it. All right, it should have it, but it doesn't. Yeah. No. Well, see, first of all, yeah, get name wasn't defined. That isn't going to work. See, syntactically, this stands no chance of working because this is a class. And so this would only work if this were an accessible static variable, which it isn't. Because it always has to be instance. So if, I had not defined that. So you may have noticed, okay, so I made some changes. None of these changes are working. Because the principle, when I said it was a bad idea to have to change the superclass. Now, sometimes you may have to do that if you've kind of messed things up. So the only thing I've messed up here, in a way, the only deficiency is not having getters for these. That's the only downside of that. In fact, I can fix that by doing the old refactor business. And I can just select the getters. Let's make them the last method. Okay, so I don't want to have setters because first, I might want to have a setter on name, but once something's, we're not doing weird experiments here on them. Okay, so now I can say get name. And that will work. And get type. Oops. Okay. Let's see, do I have a test dog? Yeah, so now test dog ought to work now. The same way. Okay, and I'm going to comment this out because it's actually, this is actually a better design because I'm reusing something that I've already created and just adding something more to that. And in general, that's a more reliable way of doing things.